40 meters. What you guys see on the screen there is known as a waterfall display. Every one of these patterns that you see scrolling up the screen is a conversation. These are all single sideband conversations. Left to right here is the representation of the frequency. And you're looking at a pretty good chunk of the 40 meter band there, graphically represented. I'm using what's called an SDR, software defined radio, to run this display here, and it shares the same antenna as my main HF radio here, which is a Yaesu FT-101E. What I can do is I can move this this little highlighter here and then unmute the PC, and you'll actually hear what's being said in that conversation. No. That sounds like Spanish to me. Let's see if I can find something English. Okay, I hope that came through. All right, so I'll turn back to you. Well, Steve is taking the door down. So, K0WOJ, are you on by chance at all tonight on the Missouri?
I got back into it and I started going with these other ones, and I went ahead and bought another pair of these Sonys, and man, I like them. I like them better than any of them that I've got. They wasn't bad. I think $85, I think, or something. I bought them off of Amazon.
Okay, so you guys get the idea there. What I usually do is I get on the band and I look for these conversations, and if I want to contact these people, I'll tune the actual radio to match that frequency. Newer radios, if you get any of the newer Yaesus, the newer Kenwoods, the newer ICOMs, a real popular one these days is the ICOM 7300. But all of these newer radios actually have a screen on the front, and optionally you can actually run this waterfall display on the radio itself. These things start about $1,000 and go up. These old Yaesus, if you know how to fix them and maintain them and run them, you can typically pick those up for a couple of $100 with issues. Find a really pristine one that's in real good shape. You may pay as much as $400 or $500, but they're really good. And if you know a little bit about electronics theory, you can fix them and maintain them yourself. That new digital stuff, man, if the smoke comes out of it, you're pretty much going to mail it off to the factory to get it fixed. You ain't going to fix that stuff yourself. It's all teeny tiny, low voltage surface mount stuff inside. And just about anything that's going to go kaput in there is going to happen at the chip level usually, and that's really expensive and really hard to find to order proprietary chips that make everything work these days. So it's getting to where it's great technology. I mean, much like your cell phone, awesome technology, but you're not going to take it apart and fix it if it develops an advanced problem. This thing here, I can absolutely fix anything in it, stem to stern. It really, it serves its function. So, anyways, let me see if I can tune one of these in. Let's see. Okay, this is right in the middle. Make sure that's not that Spanish one.
What it is, it's a Waterfall State and Traffic and WorkNet. We run a list operation. Your next control this evening is Mr. Ed Whiskey Alpha 5, Charlie Alpha Tango. He's down in Arizona, Oklahoma. Ed, I probably put you in the wrong doggone state. He is in New Mexico. That's what I thought after I said it. Ed runs a great show, John. You don't have to be a member to check in here.
That's a net. That's a net.
Yeah, I'm seeing you out to about 4, maybe a little more.
All right, so that's on 7170 lower sideband. I'm trying to get that. It should be about 9 megahertz lower than where we're at right now.
Greg, I don't know if I've talked to you before, but good signal over here. Name's Jack. I'm in Loveland, Ohio. Jack, you know, I was trying to think, your voice is so familiar. I tried to tune in on you and listen to you somewhere. Because the voice, I've heard it before. But what a fabulous signal you have. I'm over here in Lebanon, Indiana, just about 20, 25 miles northwest of Indy. You're doing quite well. I'm on a simple vertical antenna, running about 500 watts. Well, sounds great. I'm on a 2-element beam at about 110 feet. Well, Jack, it's obviously who's doing all the heavy lifting here. It ain't me. You're very strong. Well, that's because you've got great receive capability.
So we got one guy in Ohio, one guy in Indiana there, and yeah, they're basically having a little. I don't want to say anything mean, but they're complimenting each other on their signals, and one of them sounds like they got new power to me, but I don't think I'm going to cut in on that conversation.
Hey Jack, I'm down here in Kentucky and you're 30 over. Alright, well you're at the back of my beam.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm catching. Got about 3 dB down. This band is in great shape. The ground wave isn't full. Check us to it. I'm running about legal limit.
So, CQ. K5MHJ, Houston, Texas, calling CQ.
Que la regreso. Dionisio está dándole de comer a la lombrices. Y logramos mucho. Seemed to work fine, so I ran with that.
By the way, this SDR, the thing that does that is about, I think it's about $35. This is what it looks like. You could buy this off Amazon. Make sure you get it from the real guys, the RTL-SDR guys, not some Asian knockoff. But it's only about $35, and you have to buy the appropriate adapters to hook it to whatever type of antenna you're going to use. But I mean, this thing can receive from way down in the single-digit kilohertz all the way up to the gigahertz, and it's $35. Software's free. I'm using this RTL-SDR, I think it's called HDSDR software, but I mean, there's a bunch of software that you can run for this. You can make this thing decode, various types of encrypted traffic. If you got the right software, there's just all kinds of stuff you can do with it. S2 Underground was using it to plot aircraft traffic based on their transponder signals. So I mean, that's how versatile it is. And for $35, man, you can't beat it. If you've already bought a Baofeng and you're interested in radio, this is the very next thing I would buy. Anyway.
Buying something. And then I look and so all of a sudden they've gone up to 350. Yeah, well, that's cool to do. You know what I feel
somehow or another my brain went to trying to eat right and exercise a fair amount and not get a cannabis till all that. I did it.
Those MFJs are only like 13, 14 bucks with them. Wow, okay, good deal. Good deal. Like I said, I went to my buddy's thing. He was so excited. He booked with the first one. Epic Junior from 45 from some stuff to about 35 feet. But, it seems to pretty well consider more than hello. Yeah, I got 6 TVs of vaccination, and they have you at 99 F9. So.
Now, I do have a good antenna for this band. It's about 85 feet long, and it's about 30 feet above my house, just so you all know. You're not going to get this kind of performance without an antenna that's optimized for the band that you're on. But, some of the higher frequency bands don't need a huge antenna. So, just so you know, if you want to listen to HF radio and you want to use that as a cheap way to do it, that's great. But just be aware that you do still have to have the appropriate antennas. And the lower the frequency, the bigger the antenna is going to be. To be resonant. So.
Okay, James, you're all right.
Somebody's got to notch that out. Nice thing about digital, you can make it automatically apply what's called notch filters to take out stuff like that.
Norway King Q up and over, Dave, that call for you. I think he slipped out the side door with John.
Maybe we'll shake up the other end of the band.
Need to be shielded and
Yep, that's some digital mode. That's digital. I don't know what it is. You can You can get online and look at some of these. They've got a signal identification website. You can Google it. It shows you, what these various modes look like. But that is digital data that's being transmitted there. You look over here. This is what they call FT8. And boy, there is a lot of people transmitting there. These guys are all on the same little 5 kilohertz window there, and they're sending signals out, going all over the world. Every band has a designated little slot for FT8, and works. It's a digital mode that works really good for weak signal, long distance, and these guys, all they're doing is exchanging each other's contact info. They're not actually talking or sending any data back and forth. It's really, it's only applied as a means of for these radio nerds to run their contests and see how many people they can contact in how short of a time. They have a variation of it called JS8 call that is the same protocol, but it actually allows you to type, meaningful conversation back and forth, and I think maybe even send files back and forth. And that's pretty interesting because, countries that I cannot get a good enough signal to have a sideband conversation with, I can easily contact with this FT8 stuff. It's actually made for weak signals. I talked to a lot of Russians, a lot of Eastern Europeans, a lot of Asian Pacific and Pacific Islander people. Just people that are on the extreme outer reaches of where I would normally be able to get with my setup and my antenna. I can get with this FT8 stuff. I don't see the point. All you're doing is making a list of people you contacted. You're not meaningfully contacting another human being. So, but like I say, there's guys that this is all they do, and you can see right there. Count them across here. There's 30 of them right there transmitting. So let's see. Maybe one night we'll set that up and I'll film that. And you'll see how FT8 works. You'll see all the stuff that comes across when the computer is analyzing that stuff. You hook this. There's an interface that you hook from this radio into the sound card of the computer, and then you run this open source software, and it gives you a readout of just all those guys, their locations, their signal strength, and a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, let's move on down here. These guys down here are doing various other modes, either CW, which is Morse code, or other digital type modes, TTY, PSK. There's a bunch of them. On this part of the band down here, that's typically what you've got. There's a sideband conversation. I don't hear any overseas stuff right now, and that's usually an indication that the way that the band conditions are, we're not having skip propagation. But let's see, what time is it? It's about 8:41. Yeah, this is about the time in the evening that stuff usually picks up, so we'll see.